massive enthusiasm for the project, and that just speaks volumes about Christina Noble. Everywhere you go, people know what she has brought to this city and this country, and they therefore bring their enthusiasm to the film. And without that, we couldn't do it. But it's really a knock-on of the last 20 years of work that Christina Noble has done here, and people just want to pay her back.
Hi, I'm Emily.
I'm Ashlyn.
And I'm Lulu, and we're here with the Santa Barbara Middle School Teen Press, here with
Melanie Gore-Grimes
and Deirdre O'Kane
and Stephen Bradley.
What do you hope people take away from this film?
I hope that they realize what an incredible woman Christina Noble is and what an inspiration she is to many women out there. And in the end, feel good about life and feel good about things that people can achieve.
I want people to also take away, because I guess because I'm very aware of helping Christina and the fact that she's built a foundation, I'd quite like some people to go away and sponsor a child.
And also that they have to tell their friends that they have to go and see the film. That's the most important thing.
Yes. Were there any changes that you made in the story that Christina had difficulty with you guys making?
No, actually, Christina was really generous in that once she had decided, it took us about 2 years to persuade her to let us make the film and to sign on the dotted line, because you've got to have those legal documents to make the film. But once she had decided that we were the people to make the film, she was really generous and just stood back and said, you go and make the film you want to make now. And we did actually give her the script just before we started shooting, and she asked me to change like 2 little lines of dialogue, things she said, oh, I wouldn't say that. But other than that, we made the film that we wanted to make.
There are stories everywhere. Why did you decide to make this story into a film? Did God talk to you?
Well, that's one for Deirdre to answer.
Kind of, yes. Actually, Stephen and I are married, can you tell? And he had been on my case for a long time because I'm an actress, and usually actors are looking for work and complaining about work. And I live with somebody who has the mentality of find your own, create your own, and go and find a project for yourself. And I had read, Christina had written 2 books, and I had read them 20 years previously. And then I became a stand-up comic. And when I got kind of well known as a comic, I got asked to host a lot of charity dues and balls and functions, things like that. So I hosted a ball in aid of the Christina Noble Foundation, and somehow everything just seemed to come together, and sort of one day I had a light bulb moment where I said to Stephen, I want to make a film about Christina Noble. So that's how it happened, and then I made him do all the hard work.
How long about did it take to make Noble? To any of you, I guess.
I think that's really a Stephen question.
5 years is really the answer, I think, in terms of the fact that it took about 2 years of the original research, talking to Christina, reading the book, me starting to write the script, then 2 years of real hard script writing and financing the film, and then we had a great year where it was all about making the film and actually shooting it, and being in Vietnam and in the UK where we shot it, and then another sort of 6 months of post-production. So 5 years in total is the answer.
You kind of just answered this, but where did you do the filming?
Mel, you can talk about Vietnam if you like.
Great. We shot half of the film in Vietnam, or in Saigon, in an area called District 5. So it's an area in Saigon that hasn't been touched by... The main centre of Vietnam has now had a lot of money spent on it, and it looks completely different. So in order for us to film 1989, we had to go to a section of Vietnam, or within Saigon, or Ho Chi Minh City as it's now called District 5. So we shot all of those sequences there, and then we moved our film unit back to the UK in a place called Liverpool and Cumbria, where we recreated our scenes of Dublin and Birmingham.
In the movie, Christina says, "A little crazy goes a long way." Were there times in the making of this film when you needed that little crazy?
Great. That's a very good question. I think for all of us there were probably some crazy times making the film, yeah. And I suppose I think particularly in the shooting in Vietnam was very crazy, and there haven't been that many Western films shot in Vietnam, so they're not really used to either the way that we like to organize ourselves or just shooting stuff maybe on this scale. So there were quite a lot of crazy times shooting in Vietnam. Do you have any more crazy?
Well, one of my there are a lot. One of my favourites is that because there isn't a film industry really in Vietnam. They make a lot of television, but we didn't have a makeup bus. We had to make one, and we didn't have a four-way, like a little trailer for me to go to. So whenever I needed to do some pretty heavy scenes, I needed a place to go to, and I said to Steve, I really need somewhere to go. There is no trailer, and they ended up sort of finding me somebody's living room, and a Vietnamese family would offer me their bedroom or their living room, and I remember sitting in the living room. I was trying to get into a zone and be very focused, and the entire family came in to have a look at me and sort of stood there having a cigarette, having a look at me, and I thought, okay, this isn't going to work.
Watching audiences watch this film, are there any scenes that surprised you in the reactions from the audience? And are there any scenes where this reaction disappointed you?
We only had one, really.
Oh, yeah. Well, we've had. I mean, yesterday in Santa Barbara was our world premiere, so that was our first screening of people who had no connection to the film, which was fantastic. And I think the great thing about the reaction is that there are several times in the film where you have audible reactions, where you can feel the whole audience kind of coming together and having a communal reaction to what they're seeing on screen. And the other thing that I really enjoy is that we've always talked about the need in the film, because there's hardship in the film. We've always used the humor and the music to alleviate that and to make it a more enjoyable journey. And it's always great with a film like this, which is sometimes, bits of it are hard to experience, and so it's great to have the audience laughing, and they laugh a lot, which is really nice.
After watching the screenings, what changes would you want to make to the film?
Ooh, well, to be honest with you, we showed the film to quite a lot of people when we were editing it, and we then did a screening with an audience of people. Again, they didn't know that any of the filmmakers were there, and they gave us some, good reactions on paper. We asked them questions like you have here, and so actually you do quite a lot of work in post-production to make sure that you're getting reactions from people and not getting to a situation where you're in Santa Barbara and suddenly you're going, oh my God, I should have changed that. So actually, we've pretty much considered the way that we wanted the film to be, and we don't want to change it anymore. I hope.
Were the people of Vietnam supportive of making the film?
Yeah, they were. Christina Noble is very well known in Vietnam for all the great work that she's done, and she has also received the Friendship of Vietnam, which is a very prestigious award to get given to a Westerner. So yeah, they were very supportive. Their industry, the film industry, is incredibly young, so they didn't have a huge amount of experience. So there was quite a lot of excitement in terms of when we came in to make the film, how much we could teach them. So we were really supported by many people. There was maybe a small section within the Department of Culture that were slightly wary of the content, but we had to show them everything. We had what's called a cultural police on set with us every day to ensure that we didn't film anything that we said, that we had said that we, anything other than we had permission for. Sorry, is what I'm trying to say.
As you took on Christina's character, what did you want to make sure you communicated to them?
I think I wanted to, it's a great question. As an actress, I wanted to get the essence of her. I didn't want to just do an impression of somebody. And I knew that it would be very hard to capture the essence of Christina because she's a huge person. So what I wanted to do was just be as truthful to the woman that I knew. I got to know her as well as I could. And I didn't want to over-sentimentalize it because she's tough, and I think that's the best answer I can give you. I just wanted it to be as close and as truthful to her as I could be.